If we bounce 3/4 of the way, that means market is not as weak as I'm thinking. But if we only bounce 1/3 of the way and then we start rolling over and make lower lows, we're going down. So, well, I think we're just going down anyway. I think this will be, because of the macro picture completely changing now, and market is pricing in a slowdown, getting rid of the idea of soft landing, which was a fallacy to start with, because on the channel I've talked about these things. The only thing I hope that doesn't happen, which there is some signs of it, is something called stagflation. I think that will be horrible because there's no cure for that. I'd rather have inflation than stagflation. So, but we're not there yet. So let's not, let's not talk about that today. We'll talk about that when the time comes. So when the bounce happens, what do? You lighten up. If you're lucky enough to buy some things for the bounce, which I will, which I started today by selling cash secured puts, because I'm willing to own all those shares at that level. And so what do? We just bounce it and clean up accounts. We just clean up. It's just like cleaning up your house. You need to clean up. If you have a lot of trash laying around, you need to collect it and throw it out. That's what it is. Raise cash. Because cash is a position. Unlike a lot of people say it's not. Well, it is. Well, wouldn't you rather have cash when the market's down 25% from its high, or not have cash, or you're stuck in something that you're hoping to break even and there's one day it'll go up kind of an attitude? I don't do that. Now, I have two accounts, investment account and trading account. I don't know, going into today, I was literally like 75-80% cash, and I may be more cash depending on what my 2x ETF of MSTU does, but MSTR does, because I have options expiring today. They may get called, they may not get called. That thing is so volatile. I'm okay with volatility, people, but that thing is so volatile, it's giving me a headache. Okay, and I am perfectly okay with volatility. That thing is going between 7.5 and 5.5 in blink of an eye. This is a $5, $6, $7 stock. Okay, so no, this kind of solidified my thought process. I hate selling covered calls. I hate it with a passion. They kind of put you in a prison, right? You won't take the most you could take out of a stock on the way up because you're limited, and it will not give you enough protection on the way down when things like this market happens. So covered calls, think like 5 times before you do anything with it. But we'll see what happens with that. So we'll get, another thing that's changed, by the way, as far as macro is concerned, I've created this thesis, and I talked about this extensively during our members live. Here's my thought process with the new administration. What does market dislike the most? Put it in the chat. What does market don't like? Market doesn't like uncertainty. Okay, that's been the case for the last 30 years I'm doing this. Who likes uncertainty? Do you guys like uncertainty? No, you want some sort of certainty in your life. You want some, level-headed kind of a situation, right? When you have, look, I'm not going, this is not about politics. When you have an administration that makes announcements every hour on the hour, and the algos just go wild, trade the crap out of it, you're going to get shaken out a lot. So, this past 2 weeks has been what? Tariffs. All right. I did videos about tariffs. Tariffs, I think, is a tax on the average American. We will find out, because the goalpost keeps getting moved around. Today we have tariffs. 2 hours later, the next day we don't have tariffs. The next day we have tariffs. The next day it's 25%. The next day, we're delaying it to April 2nd. I am not subscribing to that idea. Now, but behind this, I think there's a bigger plan. Am I saying that the administration doesn't have a plan? Absolutely not. I think they have a plan. Now, it's a extremely risky plan. And I talked about this on the members live. And if you do become a member, you'll get access to that. You know, you guys might call me nuts on this one, but I think it's pretty accurate. Well, I think a lot about these things. So here's my thesis. Trump administration can't do anything about the Fed lowering rates. We know what has happened to interest rates. Interest rates have gone up 100 basis points while the Fed is trying to lower interest rates. By the way, why was the Fed cutting rates? They knew this was coming, right? And everybody was like, oh yeah, all-time high, all-time high. Well, look where we are now. So all those FinTwits on Twitter, oh, buying an opportunity of a lifetime. Palantir at 125, it's a great deal. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But getting back to the thesis, my thesis is that it's a risky thing to do, very risky thing to do, but I think it's necessary. Okay. So the administration is going to try to slow consumer spending down. That's the only way inflation is going to go away. But unfortunately, our GDP, 80% of our GDP is made up of consumer spending. So if we really intentionally try to slow consumer spending down, none of the earnings numbers are going to match anywhere. So that's why we're selling off. Market's seeing that. That's how they bring inflation down. In fact, they may even put us in some sort of a deflationary, not a deflationary period for a while. Deflation is not good either, by the way, to force the Fed to start the printing machines again and absolutely bombard the marketplace with liquidity. Okay. This will take some time to play out, but I think that's the plan. I really do. So if you disagree with it, great. I'm going to put the link up, you know, in a few minutes. You guys can come on and share the screen with me and we can chat about it. Maybe I'll do that after, you know, I'll put up my account and charts and things like that. So that's what I think is happening now. I think market's seeing this pretty clearly. Well, market's not liking the uncertainty that every other minute there is some announcement about something. For example, what happened last weekend on the, you know, on Bitcoin. You know, President Trump tweets, yep, Bitcoin Treasury Reserve is coming. What does Bitcoin do? It goes from 82,000 to 95,000 in like half an hour. And so all the other shit coins with it, right? Okay. Yesterday, he signs